Jacobs Fork Middle School in Catawba County. Deb, thanks for being willing to talk to me.
My absolute pleasure.
You're here with a group of folks from your home system for one of NCCAT's Research and Development Weeks, and I wanted to ask you what you folks are up to this week. What are you here doing?
This middle school, this will be their first year to come on board in our county for PBIS, which is Positive Behavior Interventions and Support. Right now in our county we have 16 elementary schools who have been implementing anywhere from 2 years to 10 years in that time frame. So it just makes good sense to now blend it over and let's jump on board and get it into the middle schools. So they're in the beginning stages of implementing, and they will be developing their expectations, which goes into the format of a matrix. They will have common areas for those expectations to be laid out, and then developing an acknowledgement system for individual students, for their classrooms, for school-wide, and also for their staff, acknowledging staff. And then, of course, the flip side of that is developing a consequence menu. So we've got to have some consequences for those behaviors that are causing disruptions within the learning environment.
So the acknowledgments are to make sure that excellent behavior doesn't go ignored, and the consequences are in response to behavior that isn't affirming of the community.
Correct, yeah. And it can also be not just for acknowledgement for my behavior, but also academically. So PBIS is for all students, for all areas, academic or for behavior.
And why is it important for schools to have an integrated system like that for dealing positively with behavior?
Well, I think when you're dealing with behavior, the more consistent you can be throughout your school building, it just builds a more cohesive team. You have the same expectations from teacher to teacher, from location to location. It just makes life simpler. We're all kind of created with expectations. Even our work environment, you have a boss and they have expectations, and you're trying your best to meet those. So same thing within our school environment. We're trying to meet those expectations. Now when I go home, mom and dad may have other expectations that don't match the school, but as individuals we've got to be able to recognize, I'm at school now, I follow these expectations. When I go home, I follow mom and dad's expectations. And so teaching kids the differences between that is just going to make life such more simpler and easier and more functional.
Excellent. And how big of a team did you bring with you to work on?
Myself and be 6 others, and we have an administrator. The principal is involved in this process, and that's a huge component for PBIS. You've got to have the administrator on board. You've got to have their support. They're vital, crucial in that decision making. This team really can't move forward unless they say, okay, principal, is it okay if we do this? And so to have them on site with us right now to make those decisions, we can move forward. We don't have to wait to go back and say, well, can we do this? No. Now we're going to start all over again.
The NCCAT R&D weeks are kind of unique that way, allowing a team of people to work in a really focused way. And I was wondering how that's been for you guys.
Oh, it's perfect. This team had started out at the beginning of school going to PBIS Mod 1 training, which is a 2-day training. And so the hope and desire is they go back to their school, and little bit by little bit the team gets together, meets, and starts moving forward, coming up with documentation, processes, practices, systems. But for some reason this team kind of bogged a little bit. I have another middle school that same time frame attended the training, and they went back to school and just jumped right on board. They developed their matrix, their consequences, and so forth and so on. So for this team coming here, they're building all those systems and practices and looking at their data, and so now they're moving forward. So it's a vital, crucial time. We've been isolated, no distractions. It's just a perfect environment.
Excellent. Well, so it sounds like you would be interested in bringing other teams here.
I have other schools, I have other teams I would love to bring here. Absolutely love to.
Well, I would invite any other administrators or teachers out there that have a project that requires coordination and collaboration amongst a handful of people to look into NCCAT's Research and Development or R&D weeks. Let us know if we can serve you in any way, and I hope I'll see you here at Cullowhee or at our Ocracoke campus in the east. Thank you.